So in this next drill, it's called stroke release. This is when the ball is swinging from one triangle to the next triangle, and the 2-meter defender is trying to reestablish position or ball side position. If you notice his leading hand, once he establishes that position, shows the hand, deteriorates the guy from passing the ball in his hip. So you can tell from the top angle view from the camera that the 2-meter defender's position is in a horizontal position, keeping his hips away from the 2-meter mat. This allows him not to be grabbed from the 2-meter mat. And the underwater camera, you'll also notice that our body position is almost in a 45-degree angle. So if he does lose contact with the offensive player, he's able to use his breaststroke kick to maintain control of his offensive player. Here you'll see the 2-meter defender get caught on the wrong side and has to react to that by doing a 2-stroke release to maintain that ball side control. Ball's swing down here in the 5 position. If he stays in that position, he's in trouble. So he takes his 2-stroke release, swims around, and reestablishes himself. The next drill is a push release to a jump. Now in the push release, what you're trying to do is establish distance from you and the 2-meter mat, not allowing him to control you in any way. The other great thing about the push is that it makes the defender think you're doing one thing. You're putting leverage on his body, and he's reacting to it. While he's reacting to it, you can see on the 2-meter defender, once the offensive player comes into him, he jumps around with a big breaststroke kick, establishing that ball side control. Notice the 2-meter defender and his work rate on his legs and his arms. As the 2-meter man is coming into him, I want you to pay close attention to his arm position as he takes an outside hand stroke to get around the 2-meter man with a big breaststroke kick. As he establishes that position, both his hands elevate to show the referee he is not pushing or sinking the offensive player. Here's the slip move. 2-meter defender is behind, directly behind, and he uses a big breaststroke kick to maneuver himself into a fronting position. And while he does this, it aggravates the 2-meter man and forces him to cause an offensive. Push release drill. The push release drill is to really help those who are in trouble with their hips down, or the offensive player is a lot stronger than the defensive player. If you notice this, they're battling for position right here, and the defensive player loses position or loses control. So what he does to protect himself is create distance between the offensive player and himself. He elevates his hips in a horizontal position to establish that. And once he has that distance established, you'll see him breaststroke kick back onto the player to reestablish that ball side control or maintain the fronting position. I want you to notice in the underwater footage that the 2-meter defender is in more of a 45, if not very vertical position. This is a bad position for the 2-meter defender. This is why we utilize the push release to get him back in the horizontal position. That way he cannot be controlled by the offensive player. Here you see the center back using the armpits, release, goes to control, releases from the offensive player, gets back onto him and controls that armpit. Showing the referee that he's not on top of him, but handling him underneath the water. This is armpit control or shoulder control. In this drill, this is probably one of the first techniques that I teach our center defenders. It is a basic, fundamental defensive positioning and skill that everybody should know. If you notice in the player right here, he has the control of the armpit with the offhand, and his inside hand is controlling the offensive player, and the outside hand is maintaining a visual for the perimeter defense of perimeter offensive players to see a ball side position. The other main key to this is that his hips are up. His lower back, his legs on the top of the surface of the pool to allow him to have power and energy forcing the offensive player possibly further away from the kick. You'll notice that the arm positioning from one armpit to the other armpit allows him to push the offensive player so he can control the opposite side or ball side position. Check out the center back position here. How he saves himself by using a lap pull. Ball is passed in from the 3, the point position, and he dives to the inside with a strong lap pull, stroking over and gaining a steal from this play. So in our last drill, we had the armpit control. Now this next drill is a little more advanced. It relies more on the legs. Now, if you notice in this player's positioning, his forearms are now on the player's or offensive player's back or shoulder. But the biggest key here is that his hand is off the player. He's showing the referee that he is not controlling him with his hands, which allows him to not get ejected from the game. The top view should show you his hip and hand position. If you notice that he can reach out with his left hand or right hand or his leading hand. The other big thing that you'll notice here is as he's moving across from one side to the other side, he has a big explosion of breaststroke kick to allow him or penetrate to the opposite side. This is a quick movement. This is a fast twitch movement. This is what separates a player who gets kicked out or a player that can defend or can maintain ball side at this next level. After his big explosion breaststroke kick, he goes straight to a hard A-beater to maintain the control or the position in the field of play. This is pushing the 2-meter man into a vertical. And once you have the 2-meter man in the vertical, you can actually push him outside. Get him out of that horizontal position, put him in the vertical, and maintain or push him out past the 4 meters.